welcome back to Tara's Traveling Paints. Today I'm going to do an epoxy video. The reason why is, there's a couple of reasons. First of all, I've been epoxying a lot of my projects because I want durable, functional art to be available for sale for the holiday or whatever. And I love the way it looks. I just love it. I did a photo shoot outside because it's sunny out and not too cold. And I'm hoping that that's going to help get some eyes on my products. And so I'm really excited about that. So if you do, let me just say that right off the bat, if you do know anyone that wants beautiful, handcrafted, USA made paintings and functional art that some will have epoxy on and some will not, definitely send them my way. So today, the purpose of this is I'm gonna epoxy a couple of my paintings that I want ready. And I want to do a video showing you my process that I've learned to do epoxy from stone coat countertops. Now, the reason why I choose stone coat countertops is, first of all, they lead with value. They teach you how to do it all of it. They don't charge you for classes. What are you doing? They don't charge you for classes, which is huge because some of them do. Let me just get this in there. I'm going to use a mixer to mix my epoxy. I just want to get that ready. I would be putting on some of my hardware to some of the pieces that I have that are ready for being either towel hangers or coat hangers or leash hangers or scarf hangers or key hangers. But apparently I put away the drill bits, which as you can see, luckily I didn't put away the drill. And I need drill bits to be able to start the holes and make sure they're measured right. But I can't get in there. The garage is completely full and all the tools are blocked. And so instead of getting frustrated and stopping like I did yesterday I just got mad and said, I'm not doing anything today. I am going to get some more epoxying done. So I'm going to go ahead and lead you down and show you what it is. And then I'm going to stop it. And then I'm going to come back after I've mixed the epoxy and show you how it is I do it. Okay? So, this is the thing. I want to be, Stone Coat just offered an affiliate program. I really love to talk about them, and even if they don't accept me, that's fine. I'll still send people their way. Number one reason, I've bought other epoxy before, and it says no VOCs, and I've almost fainted. It can be very dangerous to do epoxy. There's the slightest smell, and the only time that you actually need to wear a mask is when you do sanding, and that you should always be wearing a mask when you sand. And they lead with value, and it's all in the Made in America, and you have a 45-minute work time. And if it doesn't come out perfect, you just do a light 220 sanding coat on it and do another flood coat, and you're good to go. And so what I'm going to be using today is their art coat. My first project that I ever used was their countertop when I made that big piece last year. I really would love to sand it and put another flood coat on it. But Wayne doesn't want me to touch it, so he likes it the way it is with its imperfections. But yeah, 45-minute work time. You can do it without wearing a mask, and it gives it's just so freaking wonderful. They give you so much value. So I applied to be a affiliate yesterday. The thing is, I don't know if I have enough followers for it. So they wanted to see the links to my social media, so I put them in there. And I don't know, I might have 25 or 29 subscribers on YouTube, maybe 39 people on Facebook, maybe, I'm not even quite sure. So if this is awesome and you enjoy this and you get value from it, share it, please. I encourage people to, it will help me out a lot to go ahead and get people onto my Facebook page and into my YouTube channel. That would be very helpful. A lot of the art world, in order to support your habit, because not everybody can afford to buy art that you just hang on your wall. Okay, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Doesn't mean they won't be able to. Just means right now they can't. But it's expensive to do this as just a hobby. And so in order to support what I want to be able to do and what I want to be able to create, I would love to become affiliates to certain products that I adore. So Stone Coat Countertops, my favorite epoxy, and I don't think I'd even try anyone else. There are other epoxies out there that are good, that I've heard of. And when you go to their website, they want you to pay for classes on how to use it. Stone Coat doesn't do that. It's free. They teach you everything you need to know. They do it with word and video, so however you learn the best is the best. They do fast videos that are very stylized. They do long content where they go through step by step by step. And I think it's just great. They do a lot of collaborations with other artists that really enjoy using their epoxy, like Art Till Death. There's another one out of Texas, P&K Designs or something like that. I can't remember, and I'm sorry if you are there. And so yeah, so a lot of the other artists they have affiliates that they use to make some money so that they can purchase their supplies. And Stone Coat would be fabulous to me. I would love to be an Amsterdam person, Arteza. I love Pouring Masters. I'm a big fan of that stuff. So who knows? But Stone Coat is probably my favorite thing to do to really make my paintings pop. So I'm going to tilt you down. Well, no, I'm just going to lift up these to show you what I'm going to do. So this is a regular canvas here, okay? I think it's an 8x10, pretty sure. I will put a measuring thing on it, and I really love it, but I know it's gonna get even more intense with a layer of epoxy. Now, I am not prepping the back. I'm not. I'm just not. I'm not doing it. I'm not. What I'll do is I will, make sure I put that on there right. I do have some sanding paper that if it has too many bumps, I will sand it down. And that'll be okay for that. That's on a regular canvas. Now this is a 10x10, I'm pretty sure. 10x10. No, it's an 8x8. This came out really beautiful. It's an incredible, beautiful swipe in Christmas colors. I'm going to epoxy that. I can't wait. And this is a wood board. Wood is really awesome. Olga Solby got me into that, and I'm like, wait, they even sell that at the dollar store. I'm going to pick some of that up, and that's the 8x8s that they sell there. This is out of a kit that I got. This is a 6x6. More Christmas colors. Very pretty. Will be even more insane with epoxy on it. This one here, I'm not in love with, but I know with epoxy that gold's going to shine, and that weird little Christmas tree is just going to show up so beautiful. And so I'm excited about that. So I'll have that facing you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get my epoxy. I think I'm going to need, I might need 3 cups. If I have more, then I will keep going because I have more to do. For instance, I really want to do this 10x10. It seems very muted. I know that epoxy is going to make it pop. I also, let's see here, this Americana one I love. It looks like a American Rose that I need to get epoxy. So if I have enough left over, I will go after one more. And what I'll do is I'll just move this entire thing over and then do one right there on my art table. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. Okay, before we get started, I want to show you what it is you're going to need. You're going to need some gloves. You're going to need a torch or a blowtorch. I do have one, but it's almost empty, and I don't like that pop sound it makes. Where is it? It's hiding on me. Oh, right here. So I need new fuel. You could use propane, butane. You could also get MAP gas for something like this. Now, MAP gas is good, but it burns a lot hotter, so you have to be further away. The purpose for that is to make sure that it's nice and hot, because you want good flow, but you don't want it to be burnt. You don't want to spend too much time on it. And it's going to help you pop air bubbles, okay? I highly recommend, even if you're just getting started, it's nothing. Go onto Amazon and get epoxy mixers. Let me see if I can show you. I got 4, so I have one on there. They're reusable. It's wonderful. They're not expensive. You just put them on your drill bit, and it's going to save you a lot of time because you need to stir for a full 5 minutes. When you have the drill bit, you got 2 minutes and you're ready to rock and roll. You also want to make sure you have big tongue of these, because you need to stop halfway through and scrape, make sure everything's scraped. Another thing that you could use, which they use on Stone Coat and recommend, and so do I, is a chop brush, which is like a 2-inch brush, a cheap one, but you want to try to make sure the hairs aren't too loose. And you go in and you tap it so you're doing an extra mix. You could also use a trowel if you're doing a larger project. When I do a larger project, like on wood, I'll use the swipe tool that I've got, okay? And it's basically a trowel, and I just get that in there, and then I chop brush to get the lines out, and then I hit it with some more fire, and keep going. You want to make sure your wood is sealed or covered, so you want to make sure you've painted it. If you used any silicone in your painting, and now this is for the people that are going to epoxy their paintings. Some people use epoxy only and use it like a paint. It's pretty wild. You want to be careful. I know this here had a lot of silicone in it, so it was a two times. So I had to take it after it was done. I had lots of little bubbles and places where the epoxy didn't want to stay. I let it dry. I cured it for 24 hours. I sanded it again, and I went back. And then I said, what will I tolerate? Because I am handcrafting. This is not a manufacturer at this point. So things aren't going to be perfect, and that's okay. But I want them close as I can get. I still have one little divot right here from where the air was coming through the wood. I'm not going to be worried about that because it's going to get hardware. Okay, it's going to get hardware. This is going to be like I'm not sure. We'll see the hooks I put on it. This one here was a very thin coat of paint. So there were a lot of little bubbles that stayed. But because it's going to be functional artwork, I'm not going to worry about it. If it was this was a standalone and it was going on your wall just like this, I would sand again and do it again. Okay? I would keep going. This here had 0 silicone. And I did do 2 coats, but I don't think I needed it. I think I did the 2 coats because I still had too many air bubbles that stayed in it. You want to have your room 72 degrees. That's just going to help you have a nice solid cure. If your room goes below 72 degrees, you might get tacky. It might get tacky. Where, in other words, it's always a soft cure. I've been lucky, and it's not very warm in here, so I've been very lucky. This had no silicone in it. I didn't have to struggle with it too much. I think it's beautiful. Now this one here, which is the big piece, that apparently there was silicone in it. Apparently. It's a ribbon pour that I did last year. This is going to have 3 big hooks on it. This is something like you put in your bathroom and hang your towels over. I'm still up in air about whether I want it to go this way or that way. If somebody's fallen in love with this and they say, I want it that way, you let me know before I get the drill out, okay? I wanted to make this yesterday. This was 2 coats. The epoxy didn't want anything to do with this corner or this corner. So what I did is I sanded it down, and then I took frog tape and I made a ledge that came over the top. And that's what I did. Half hour into it, I pulled the frog tape off so that the epoxy would run. It left me a beautiful surface. I don't have the weirdness that was going on with it. It's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. There's another little piece here. This one has been sanded again. It does need to be epoxied again. It's really small. This might just be a little art piece that I sell. I don't know if I'll put a hook on it, okay? But there was obviously silicone in here that I didn't remove. Now, if you're going to have silicone and you use it in a painting, there's nothing wrong with that at all. You want to bring it into the sink and use some dish soap, like Dawn, or if you're like me, Melaleuca, that's my favorite, and wash it. Don't worry, you're not going to kill it. let it dry. Go back with 91% alcohol. You're going to need that stuff. 91% alcohol. You can put it in a spritz bottle, or you could just put it on a paper towel and rub it down real good. And you're gonna see paint color on your towel. Don't worry about it. It's not going to come off. But you want to kind of remove that silicone, because the epoxy and silicone, they don't make friends. And it's very difficult to, you don't want to use too much product if you don't need to, okay? So, you know, avoid silicone if you know you want to epoxy it. How's that? Just avoid it. Let me see. I think that's it for now. I'm going to go ahead and show you how I pour it. Now I'm going to use, see, this is something that I'm pretty sure Stone Coat doesn't suggest you do, to reuse. I have used this a few times for epoxy. I'm not going to use it this time. But I will use it again. I'm not afraid of that. So I went to the dollar store, and I'm always looking at the kitchen supplies when I go to, this was a Family Dollar visit. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. It was $1. And it's got its labels on it. And what did I say I was hoping to do? A 3-cup? It's got to be perfectly even. The two have to be perfectly even. Okay, can I even see it? 2.5 cups is what this will do. 2.5 cups. So that'd be 1 1/4. So we'll go with 2.5 so that we're here on that. 1 1/4 each. Okay. So what you have is an A and B. B is pretty liquidy, if you can see that. A is much thicker. So I always put the B in first and then the A after. It helps with the mixing. I also give it a warm bath. So I'll fill my sink downstairs we have very hot tap water. Very hot. It's too hot. I'll fill that up. I'll let them sit in there for a half hour. Boom, good to go. You could set them in front of a space heater or any other kind of heater that you may have and let them sit there for a little bit. It's better to work with warm epoxy. And like I said, 72 degrees is better for a room temp. And it's nice to be able to put have something that you can put over. I have not had much of a problem in this room. I haven't found things in my paints or in my epoxy, which is great. If I did a lot of summer epoxying, that might be a different story. And that would also be a different story because bugs love the smell of acrylic paint and they come fly into it. So let me go ahead and pour this. So it's a 2.5 cup. We're going to go 2.5 cups. So I need 1 1/4 of the B, okay? And so let me mark it what's up because it's very light. I'm going to mark it with a Sharpie so I can see where the halfway point is without having to squint. Then I'm going to mix and probably turn you off of that because it's going to be 2 minutes. Okay, so I put 2 marks so that I don't have to guess, because you don't want to guess. You want it to be as even as possible. I don't have a chop brush, but I do have foam brushes. They're cheap, and they'll do the job. So I'll get myself a freshie right now. Those, you're only going to use them once, so I'm not sure if I'm wrong with using the foam brushes, but they're cheap, man. So it's like really hard to get it out. Like it's done. There's nothing else I can do with that. So, I mean, maybe I could use this. I don't know. I won't throw it out yet. But this is what I'll use for that. I don't even use these 2 times with regular paint. So I don't know what my story is. So, like I said, we're going with the B first. And I can do that right on top of here. I'm going to go ahead and turn you down so you can see where I'm at. I want you to be able to see it all, so get you in the right spot now. Okay, That's pretty good. So I have a giant dog kitty litter or dog litter or giant kitty litter that who's going to use this? And I'm not. And I'm not going to train Shaniqua how to use it. So it's perfect for epoxy or spinning paint because when you spin, it gets everywhere. Everywhere. So let me go ahead and get started. B first. See, that goes in so fast compared to the other one. You'll see the difference soon. You want to be as precise as possible. I recommend, probably smarter, would be to use mixing cups that are made for epoxy. But if you are on a budget and you don't have the money to do that, I mean, I do have a few cups that are for epoxy. But I need more than that for this, and I don't want to do multiple cups unless I'm going to mix some glitter, which I may. I think I will, but I can't do it yet because one of them is not going to get any glitter. So now here's the A, which is much thicker. See that? Whole different world. Ta-da! Sounds like someone's here. So I'm going to go ahead and spin that out for 2 minutes. On the 1 minute mark, I'm going to use this to scrape the sides and scrape the bottoms. Okay, I'm going to stop though because I want to do it over here. And I will be right back when I'm done and I'll show you what it's got. Oh, sadness fell upon me. I got done with the mixing, but I still wanted to go a little further, and my battery died. And now I can't get to the battery charger, so I might have to throw a fit and get that garage cleared. Anyway, here we go. I'm done. I did it for about 3 minutes. I stopped halfway through and scraped the sides. Let me demonstrate what that means. You scrape the sides. You make sure it's all there. Scrape the bottom. Now, when you have a proper epoxy mixing cup, you are looking at square edges, so it's easier to get at everything. But this, I found I had a flat bottom, so I was happy with that. And so there we go. And I'm going to add gloves to my life right now because I don't want to epoxy myself to anything. And I use my free gloved hands to do things. I do. I'm wondering, should I even do that one that I probably should prep this? I'm like feeling... No. I'm just going to go for it. Just going to go for it. And if I learn a bad lesson, then okay. But I'm going to work it. And I'm going to keep scraping the epoxy away as it flows. And I'm going to start with that one. So let me make sure I've got room to do this. Need to be able to get in there pretty good. Let me put a little piece of tape on that. Now that I put gloves on. Yep, now that I put gloves on, put a tape on that. I'm so funny. So I just use contractor bag. And it's reusable because you can just, once the epoxy cures, you can just pull it off. It's totally up to you. Silicone mats work really great for that too. But I am on a budget, like I said, and Baby Cakes gets me contractor bags for cheap, and I use them and use them and use them and use them. I definitely don't waste what I don't need to waste. So you want to make sure you have some sort of a place When I did my first epoxy project, I did not put a dam up. And you should see I have epoxy floor. I mean, I ruined everything. So there's epoxy dripping all down everything that I have here. So I learned you need to have a dam. Now, if you didn't have something like this, you could put 2x4s and a contractor bag, and it'll keep it in there. So you won't have to worry too hard. So let me go ahead, get this going. Don't let me forget to put my glove back on. Feeling pretty jazzy about that. I think that's pretty sweet. Now, if I were to put glitter in these, I'm thinking I would, let me see. So I'm going to use my hand to move it around. And there's no silicone in this, so this shouldn't give me much of a problem. These also, if you're an aspiring artist, these are going to create so much more longevity for your paintings, and your price point is going to match more what you feel that you need and deserve, because these paintings are going to last forever with epoxy on it. And stone coat doesn't yellow, in my experience, and they say they don't. So I'm making sure that my edges are covered. Now, some people, I think Olga tapes her edges off and leaves them not epoxied, just epoxies the face. And she doesn't use canvas. She uses wood panels only. If you're into any of that art stuff, Olga Solby is on YouTube, and she's pretty great. I'm probably going to go through a couple of these because I do want to use some glitter. So while I'm here, let me go ahead and put some fire on it. You should see an air bubble right there. I'm hoping my lighting is good enough. So if I was using a map, like butane torch or whatever, not butane, the propane torch, I wouldn't have this like this. I wouldn't have it this close to plastic. I would be doing it in a different kind of situation, because you've got to be careful. MAP gas is hot. And you would have to be up further like this. I just wouldn't want anybody to make any mistakes. So I stick with these cooking torches unless I have butane, or not butane, propane for that torch, and I don't have it right now. And I've got to fill it a lot. It's getting old, and I got to fill it a lot. Before I move on, I want to look at it from a different angle so I can see what's happening. I'm going to let that sit a minute, and I'm going to move on. This one, I think I want a white white dust. So, do I have a white dust? I do have a white dust. Now you can add things to your epoxy, which is pretty sweet, if you ask me. So, like, where's my scissors? Then I'll probably replace this and put it into a little glass container, but for now, let me just get a little cup ready. And do a little mixing to get it in there. So here I go, put that there. Go as far as I think it's gonna take. I think it's gonna take that. And I'm not going to be too shy with that. I want it to be sparkly. And grab my mixer, put it in there, mix it up. Oh, epoxy's nice and warm. Oh my gosh, what is was that? Something found its way into my life. Thank God I saw it. I would have freaked. Okay, so it's not a lot of glitter, but it's not a little glitter either. So let me go ahead and get that on there. And scrape, scrape, scrape. Don't want to lose any epoxy. It's not cheap, so I try not to waste any epoxy. And I'll often work the epoxy that drips off right back on it, especially if I'm working with wood and I haven't properly gotten it sealed from air. Air bubbles coming through the wood. So with wood, I would recommend you paint the whole piece before you do any pouring, and then do your art on top of what's already painted and dried. You should be in better shape. And also, doing a little sanding doesn't hurt either. Not at all. Oh, well, I got some drips on there, but that's okay. Now, put gloves back on, and I'm going to work it. Now, I have yet to determine if I'm going to use that sponge for a chop brush. I might not need it. I know when I work with the wood pieces, I need to chop it. This probably isn't wise to do it all together, the same thing. But I really wanted to get more than one thing done today, and epoxy is a 24-hour cure time. So let me go ahead and squish it around. And this does not have any silicone, so it shouldn't give me too much of a bother. I'm feeling like it might end up having to be 2 coats, but I just want to make sure I got my edges. I'd like to have it fully wrapped, and I think that's pretty sweet. Get this off. Get it off right here so I don't... Oh, look at how much came off the glove. That's fabulous. I'm going to fill up. I got another cooking one, and I can't figure out how to fill it. I just can't get it. I don't understand it. So, it kind of upsets me, but... See, there's plenty in there. Oh, that's so pretty. And I love that you can work with it and just get into it without having to be in full hazmat gear to work with it. When I did that table, oh, I thought I was gonna die. I literally had to walk away. I thought I was gonna faint. And it said no VOCs. That is gorgeous. That's going to be a beautiful piece. And I don't think I need to do any more torching, but I have to look at it from another perspective again. See? I'm doing pretty good. This is self-leveling as well. Well, that's a good news. So if it looks like it's not level, you're probably going to be okay, unless for some reason there is some sort of silicone. Now, this has really made this deep looking already, and it's going to dry the way it looks now, which is pretty sweet. Now, they do have a matte top coat that you could add if you wanted it to be epoxy, but yet you didn't want it to be glossy. So keep that in mind. They've got a lot of really interesting stuff. I'm trying to think here. What if I were to do... I were to do something in those. You know what? I don't think I should. I'm not going to put anything in those. I did have colors that I could have used in that. I've got that. That would have been cool, this color here. But I didn't. But if I have some left over, maybe I will. Do a top coat on it, right? Because I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I might be able to do that. I sure might. Let me get some gloves on again. So I prefer these nitrile gloves. Nitrile. They seem to fit better. Everything else is either they're too tight around my fat little chubby fingers and too long, or, I mean, I could probably even go with a smaller size of these because if you see it, I don't really go to the tip. But they're much more comfortable. Much more comfy. I can actually pick right up and make sure I'm covered on all the sides. Now you're going to lose some. You've got to be able to part with it. Choose what you want to epoxy. You don't have to epoxy everything. Not everybody wants epoxy on everything. Just know that you're going to be able to demand a better price for them because of their longevity. I do gloss coat as well on a lot of paintings. I really like that. So, and if you get too sticky, 91% alcohol, it's your friend. I'm like, oh God, no, it broke on me. No, Tara, it didn't break on you. You didn't turn it on. You just didn't turn it on. So my goal here right now is just to get the holes popped. And I will keep my eyes on whether or not it starts to self-level or if I need to go back in with a chop brush. But I don't think I'll have a problem with that. Okay. These are so flat and so ready for this kind of thing that it's not like working with just straight wood, like 2x4s or something. That is often something you really need to worry about, you know? Okay. Let me take a look real quick on the side. See, I'm seeing some stuff, but I want to see it level out on its own. And I'm seeing it kind of do that. Where's that little stick I was working with? Right here. No, I don't want to work with a stick that had glitter in it. Just want to encourage it to be right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a very small little bit of glitter, and I'm just going to spread it right in there. Yeah, I think I might do two little ones. A black one and that red. So I've got this little here. Oh, so exciting. I get myself so crazy. And then I'm going to do another epoxy piece because I'm just doing a little bit. I want to bring that painting to life right there. I really, really do. All right, so I'm going to use this here. This here along this darkness. Then I'm going to use a black inside the blackness. Now I'm going to show you a technique I learned from one of Stone Coat's videos, and that is to make it a little on the thick side. And I'm going to use a smaller, oh jeez, I have a feather, a nice feather following me around. Gonna get a little thicker. Okay, so that's like that dark brown. I have mixing tools all over the place. All different things. I go through little phases where I prefer one over another. I went through a time where I thought sporks were the bomb.com. Sporks, that's right. Okay, so this has significantly more glitter than that one did, and I think that's okay. And I'm going to straight pour it. I'm not going to use this to do it. Wish me luck, guys. I gotta be honest with you, I'm just terrified right at this moment. Terrified. Alright, now I'm going with black. Let's get this little feather that found me and get it away from my epoxy project. This is really crazy going to be beautiful. Holy moly. Oh, that painting just took a whole nother walk around the block. Now, this is the first time I'm actually playing with the epoxy to help with the painting outside of just accenting. Oh, I'm looking forward to a full epoxy project. I've got some really big ideas. The camper, the table, I want to epoxy. And I want to do that in Stone Coat countertop epoxy, not an art coat. And I want to use dyes and all that fun stuff. I think. I just don't want to waste any, so I'm going to let it come back over here. Get rid of those cups. You're never going to use them again. That's going to be insane. Okay. Just popping bubbles. This is verily exciting. Verily. All right. Okay, now I want to look at it again from the other angle. And I'm going to take a look at everything from the other angle. That's going to need more fire. This one I don't think is going to need any more fire. That might be a miracle one coat. It does happen. This, I think I need to add a little epoxy right here and right here. But I've got some in the cup. Ready to rumble. I'm having fun, guys. You could even use a hairdryer. I wouldn't recommend that. Or a heat gun. That should work out fine. I just like fire. Just gonna help it move a little. Like I said, this is gonna need some more popping. Like I said, I've got a lot of work time. So I'm not freaking out. I'm not terrified about it. I can move this over to the other table, continue working with it, and start another project over here, right here with you, because I have a lot of epoxy left. Okay? What do you say, guys? What do you say? I think it sounds like a plan. Really hard when they're a little low like that, but with the wood, I'm not as worried because I can sand it. With the canvas, I don't want to ruin this canvas, so I was a little scared. Holy moly. So insane. So with it in the other window, I'll also be able to see air bubbles a little easier. So I'm just gonna do this. Get that over here, let it do its thing. It's got lots of time. It's all level, all beautiful. And then, how much do I have? I think I have enough for two. I think I have enough for two. I do. I don't know if I want to use this one though. Look at this. I've got a divot in the paint. I don't know if I like that. I have this, but I'm not sold on putting epoxy on it. Maybe I am sold on it. Yeah, I'm sold on it. Who am I kidding? It's going to be beautiful. So they're both the same size, so I can just make that even, Steven, and be happy. Cough syrup tops, cough syrup cups. Any of that stuff, save it, guys. It's going to save you a little money with buying things to get your paintings level. Padam! Padam, bam, bam, wham. And with the wood, you can just put it in the middle of it. I like that. I'm wondering, let me see what the angle is here. Excuse me, sniffles, sniffles, sniffles. I think that's pretty cool. You can see both. This one I'm going to add metallic. This one, I like a pretty yum-yums in there. And This one I want to add something as well. Do I want that white again? Or do I want to throw a green in there? Or blue? Or blue and green? What? I could put both of those in there because they're in there. That's what I'm going to do. All right. So, I'm not going to mind having a little white glitter in there. I'm not. Can you hear the puppy snoring? She's so adorable. She's my little snore muffin. Now it's not just me and Wayne snoring, it's her as well. Wayne used to think I was the only one that snored, then I started recording him. So like I just said, don't throw anything out. Those little plastic shot glasses, I could have probably saved them. They would have dried hard with the epoxy in it, and I could have used them to level paintings, but I didn't. See? So this is going to be just very gentle with the sparkle. Very gentle with the sparkle. This one I'm really not sure what color I want. I'm almost feeling like I want gold in there, but I already got a lot of gold in there. I have that white, that black, and that brown. And I have this color, which is like a steel. I think since it's not open yet, I'm going to go with this. That one on that. I almost poured it in there. Did you see that? Did you guys see that? I probably don't need to be using these expensive cups. I probably could just use the regular cup, but it'll help me to see how even I am. I want to use the same amount on both, you know what I mean? I don't want to have to chase it around. Now, it's not recommended that other people say don't do that. I will use this again. Because the epoxy dries hard. Doesn't splinter into your new epoxy project. Just makes your cup even stronger. The thing is, the measuring is not going to always stay right because it's going to increase the thickness of your cup. So, be careful, guys, with how you do that, okay? Now, I'm going to put it upside down over here to hopefully it'll self-level and make it straight inside, okay? That's what I did. Excuse my sniffles. Please and thank you. A little bit of that white won't hurt me either. All right. So yeah, as you can imagine, how difficult this would be, or time consuming, or just if you didn't have the drill. It's really, really important to get the drill and get the drill bit for mixing. Just do it. Just do what I said. So mixing on this guy. So they both have a little bit of white. One I added on purpose. One was just in the cup still. This one has blue and green sparkles. That one has white and that like maroon. Which one should I go for first? I think I'll go for this one first. Put a pair of gloves on. I'm going to reserve just a little bit at the end to make sure that if I have to add more, I will. Also, if this doesn't dry perfectly for me, I'm still going to be able to see the sparkle through the top coat. So I don't have to keep adding it. It'll just add dimension to it even more, which is pretty lovely. I hope this video is not getting too long for you, but I generally am a long content kind of person. I generally am. This doesn't have silicone in it, so I'm hoping that everything goes well, because sometimes when you see those cells, you're like, are you sure you didn't put silicone in there? But I've been so anti-silicone lately, because if you've been around a little while, I siliconed everything before. Everything got silicone. Everything did. And a lot of it. Now I'm not... that's what Amsterdam changed my world. Amsterdam and Floetrol. Don't need silicone all the time to make beautiful cells. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of different ways to create some beautiful paints to get cells if you want them. All right. Oh, I'm loving that. I'm loving that. Taking these gloves off. I'm gonna walk around, see where I think there may be nakedness. I see some nakedness right there, and right there. Okay. So let me first hit it with a torch, because I might not see it once it starts moving a little better. And I need more. Yep. Those are looking beautiful. I don't think I'm gonna have to play with them much, which makes me pretty happy. So to me, I was like, I saw such a subdued painting, but I knew I was going to epoxy it. I was thinking of redoing it, and I said, no. When you put epoxy on that, it's going to bring all that depth back that you feel like you're missing. And especially by adding a little glitter to it, it even makes it more beautiful. I was just afraid it almost got too muddy for me, but I don't really feel that way anymore, you know? Finally got the dog used to the sound of the torch. She's not flipped out anymore by it. Right, puppy? She's like, yeah, now I'm awake and snoring. I think she finds my art boring. If I was throwing a ball while painting, she'd probably dig it. She's kind of into that. She's kind of a sports freak. She's kind of my athletic love. I want it all on there. Don't want to leave any behind. Now these cups I don't keep. Just so you know. I know I'm telling you to save stuff. Some things it's just, no. You could use silicone. I think Olga Solby uses silicone for everything. So it's just, you could just peel it right out. I don't know. I'd have to look at one of her painting videos on that again, where she covers. Now, the big, these guys, if I can get it to dry in a good spot, I will keep it. I will. It's kind of crazy, I know, but I will. All right. Excuse the sniffles. I had a video a couple videos ago. I did it in Americana, 3 different ways, and I was having so much fun, but I got those sniffles, and I didn't realize until I played it how disgusting it sounded. And I'm like, oh God! And then somebody found the video, which I barely have anybody finding my videos, and was like, that's disgusting. And I'm like, all right, take it down and do a voiceover on it, because. Yeah, I watch people, podcasters and whatnot, and if I hear them drinking water, I'm grossed out. If they have like a really good microphone. So, excuse me, I'm definitely not sniffling as hard as I was in that. I mean, that was like, it was gross. And I didn't even realize it, you know, like it just wasn't. And I was going to paint over that. No, thank you. That's beautiful. So a lot of air bubbles in there. But that's okay. We'll work it out together. Got more. Let me double check like I did the last time. And see where I need it. I need it on the edges again. That's okay. Use it all. Don't be shy. Now, if you're doing like household improvement projects, you want to for sure know exactly how much to make. You don't want to eyeball it. good. Oh no. Not that good. A different perspective one more time. They both need more fire. I see air bubbles all up in here. And this all right in here. Over here, the painting that I added the glitter to needs more fire as well. Did you hear that? It stopped. Oh my gosh. Shanika just lost her mind because the heat went on. So it's a garage, and it's a garage here, so that's why you hear it so intensely. I hope it doesn't bother you too much. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do so I don't overtorch and lose my mind, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to come back and we'll do our final torching and a closer look. All right, I've been gone for about 10 minutes. I'm going to retorch everything and then bring you in for a closer look. I'm going to thank you so much. I know this is over an hour long. But you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. So it's important to me that you go ahead and like this, share this with people that you think may be interested with it, because I really want to convince Stone Coat to let me be an affiliate. And if not, that's okay. I'm still going to recommend them. But it would be nice. Indeed. Beautiful pieces today, beautiful. I'm really excited about it. All right. Let's go ahead and get you in for a closer look. And I'm excited. Now, excuse, the art room has not been cleaned in a couple of days, so you're going to see things that may disturb you. Well, not really, but... Go ahead. I'll give you the pretty part. So pretty girl, say hello. We just played some Fetch It, Catch It. So here's the last one. Very pretty. Look at that. Whole new world. Mm-hmm. Look at that. Ooh. This one is kind of blowing my mind. Really took it to another level. This one is my favorite. I just love it. I want to do more of that. I have a giant canvas that I want to do that kind of painting on. So anyway, let me go ahead and... Well, can I turn you around to me? I don't think so. Oh. Let me do it myself. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Stone Coat Countertops, you got this. And Towers Traveling Paints. Bye.